grab a drink, light a candle, and let's bitch. So I have some tea. So it popped up on my Facebook, like on just the feed, because I follow her and I follow that page of hers that's a wedding page. And she had...
Do I know this person?
You do,
okay.
Yes. She... Remember there was this giant like thing that she used to do?
Yes.
She's in charge of that.
The lady that I went to her place that one time?
Yes. You worked for me and did it at the venue.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So she had posted on her private Facebook page, like her personal page, not her business one, about how she's so like proud of herself. And like, I'm not putting that down. Be proud of yourself. You should.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
She was putting on there that she's so proud of herself for being a therapist and a psychiatrist outside of...
She was so mean to me. She's such a mean person.
I'm reading it and like I was at my parents' house and I'm reading it and my dad's sitting next to me and I'm physically getting angry and he's like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "No, you don't understand." I'm like, of all the people that I have worked with professionally in regards to weddings and events, she was the worst person I've ever worked with in my life. She is rude. She's mean. Like she was mean to people that she didn't even know.
I think she's the only person who has ever come close to making me cry. I was literally that day, I was scared to leave without Mike being there, which is why I was like, I know it's going to be a drive, but I'm scared to leave until you get here because she's going to say something to me and I'm about to get you in trouble. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I was like, you need to be here because she's not going to say anything to you. Like I know she's not going to say anything to you because you're a man. So you have to come.
Because I had called him because I was like, I'm on my way because I'm leaving my event. And he's like, all right, we should be done. But if you still want to make face, I'm like, yeah, I'll come. I'll make sure everything's fine. The second I walked in, it was, "Oh, hi, how are you? So good to see you." And in my mind, I'm like, you are so two-faced.
Yeah,
like you just got in the face of my employee when she's doing what she should be doing contractually. And like, you're going to act like it's all good in front of me. But the fact that she put that on there, I'm like, you're a therapist? You talk to people for a living?
And give them advice. I wouldn't
recommend my dog to talk to you.
She gives them advice.
Advice daily. So I don't know if she obviously doesn't have an office, but I don't know if she does like, you know how you can do, I know I do therapy telehealth, but you can do it like strictly online where it's like an online therapist and you only do it through that company or whatnot. Yeah. I'm wondering if she works through that.
Probably.
Like instead of having your own company or having your own office, she just does it through there. But still, I saw that and I was like, you have got to be kidding me. Like, that's insane.
I could never.
I didn't know if it, like, I thought my brain was playing tricks on me. I bet you it's not the same person. There's no way that it could be the same person. Totally is. Because I pulled up her account to go into her account to see what she's like an owner of. And her page and the venue was on there too. I'm like, oh, damn. Yeah, I saw that and I was like, oh, Brandy's going to get a kick out of this.
Oh, yeah, I do. That makes me so mad. But that also makes me wonder how many other therapists are actually terrible people.
Right?
You think she's ever giving good advice? You know?
She can't. There's no way.
She's just such a mean person. I will say she works for the bride. I will give her that. She does for the bride, but she also has to work with the other people who are coming to work for her. No, well, not for her, but also working for the bride. Like, she has to be able to work for them as well.
I mean, I agree to an extent.
Yeah.
I feel like she does, but she wants all the credit for everything that's been done, even what is not under her umbrella.
She should get none of the credit because she didn't even do the things that she was supposed to do. Like that day that I worked there, she didn't have the stuff done she was supposed to do. You only let us in an hour before, and now I have 4 times as much work that I was supposed to do because you didn't do your part. But you're yelling at me because I couldn't do my part because I had to do your part first. And that's not how that works.
And that's what I think is the difference between someone who works for the bride and does a good job and someone who wants just the praise. Because there are so many weddings that you and I have done together where we are photographer and caterer and florist and like we're doing all these other things because the balls are being dropped and we're not expecting anything from it. Half the time our bride doesn't even know because we don't want that stress on her.
We don't want them to know. We don't want them to know anything's happening.
Exactly. But I feel like she's the type of person who she'd come to the bride afterwards and be like, by the way, I did this, and this. Like, I'm not saying she would ask for extra compensation, but I wouldn't put it past her.
She definitely wants recognized that she did those things, though. And sometimes I don't even think she did those things, you know?
No, absolutely not. Yeah, I wanted to pull it up. It's a mental health worker. She has her bachelor's degree in psychology.
Good for her. 5 stars. Good for her.
Good for her, but at the same time, it's like, I feel bad for those clients.
If I did ever go back to school, I think that's what I would go for. But see, that makes me question.
She's just not, she's not a good person.
And no, she's not.
It worries me because it's like, what are you saying to those people that are coming to you for advice? Yeah. I don't know. But that was my tea. That was my tea of the day.
Are we going to keep this in the podcast?
We can. I never used a name. I never used the venue
We did a little
name.
bit at the beginning, but we can take it out.
Yeah, we can. We can edit it.
Yeah, we can take that part out.
We should have a moment in each podcast where it's tea time.
Yes, we should.
I think that
was our tea time.
That was
we
our
should
tea
also
time.
be drinking tea with it. Like we should have teacups and like drink tea. And
I wonder if
that
we
would
could
be
get a
fun.
sound of like clanking tea glass. 2 little teacups.
We could.
The sound of like, we totally
if we
could.
can't find one, we can make one.
Yes.
I have so many glasses here.
As long as we're not making jewelry, you'll be happy.
Oh, I'm never making jewelry again. I'm never doing that again. But we were cleaning the storage room upstairs, and he's like, you gotta condense some of the stuff. I'm like, yeah, but these are, my great-grandma had Fiesta-ware dishes when she lived at home. I don't want to get rid of those because they're a family heirloom. I asked for them when I was little. Don't want to keep them.
Yeah.
But I have this antique china that I bought at a flea market. No, I bought it at a yard sale for $2 when I lived in my apartment. So however many years ago. And that's the dishes that I ate on every day. Is I ate on antique china every day because I was like,
Aw.
I want to feel so fancy. So I do want to actually get rid of these. So I was going to sell them. But if you want some antique china, you can have it.
I don't want it. I have kids now. That's a horrible decision.
That is true. And Champa.
Yeah.
Champa would destroy it. One flick
Yeah.
of his tail and it'd be gone.
He sold me out today. He sold me down the river. Oh, look, I have more tea for you. You can split this and put this in a different episode.
No, we're going to keep it in.
So
I'm not that good at editing yet. I don't know how to do that.
So I obviously didn't do anything today other than, be a mom and take care of the dogs. But we're in the living room and I have the baby strapped to me in like one of the carriers because it soothes her. And we're playing fetch with Champa and I'm throwing his little ball and everything. He's bringing it back. And he's being so gentle with her because I told him I can't play tug if I'm holding her. So he'll drop it in front of me and he'll kick it to me. Like he's being so gentle.
Yeah.
And we played for a good like half hour like this, which is a good amount of time for like her being able to be calm and like him not to be rough. Well, then the door opens and, Mike comes home from work. So everybody's all excited and everybody's screaming and happy. And all of a sudden he starts talking like a husky does because he thinks he's a husky, even though he's not. And he's trying to sell me out. And I'm like, no.
He's not?
Nope,
okay.
he's
I was
just
curious.
German Shepherd Great Pyrenees. Nope,
Okay.
but he thinks he's husky.
Mm-hmm.
And so he starts talking away. And Mike's like, what's the matter? Show me. So Champa leads him to the kitchen. Well, I accidentally clogged the dishwasher. So we had like an indoor pool today for a little bit. I cleaned it up, but I had like towels everywhere. And Champa goes in and he's just barking and barking and barking. And Mike's like, who made this mess in here? Who did this? And Champa gets real quiet and he walks over, sits next to me and barks.
He just gave you up.
I was like, did you just...
I
was like, did you seriously just give me
Raceland,
up?
he could work for the police.
I know. It's ridiculous. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. And Mike is dying of laughter. He's like, he sold you out
did.
the second I walked in the door.
He sure did.
He's like, he wanted everyone to know that he did not make the mess and that I made the mess. And I was like, yes, mommy made the mess. I'm aware. And he's just sitting there wagging his tail all proud. I'm like,
Wow.
ugh. And then the second I got in trouble, quote unquote, got in trouble for it, he just looked at me like he wanted a cookie. I'm like, you don't get a cookie for being a tattletale. Like, no,
If you want a cookie,
funny.
you have to go to Mike for this. It's like, you have to go to him for a cookie. You were mean to me. You're not.
Yeah, it was ridiculous though. Mike thought it was the funniest thing. I'm dying, he's dying. And he's like, I can't believe he just sold you down the river. Literally, because there was a river in our
that
kitchen.
Sucks.
I'm like, yeah.
I'm
mhm.
sorry.
It's all good. Mike fixed it. It was just a clogged drain. But yeah, I was like, you've got to be kidding. I thought we had something. I thought we were special. I'm your mama. We were just playing fetch. We had a great day today. No.
He says,
the second
just
the door
remember,
opened,
Molly's your dog, but I'm Mike's. That's what he said. He's like, Molly may be yours, but I belong to him.
Meanwhile, Molly thinks it's the greatest thing. The second I put the baby in the high chair to eat, Molly's like right between her legs at the bottom of the chair, just sitting
She
there
wants
waiting.
food.
So so still. Like she acts like a statue. Like it's the funniest thing. She'll just sit there all prim and proper like a statue, doesn't move until something falls on the floor. Then she snatches it like a hungry, hungry hippo. She's so happy. She thinks it's the greatest game ever. That is my life right now. Dogs selling me down the river. The baby just wanting to be held 24/7.
I have to tell you, this isn't really like tea, but we were upstairs cleaning the storage space out. And when we took the Christmas tree down, Anthony went to Home Depot or Costco. I don't know. He went somewhere and he bought this bin that your Christmas tree fits into with wheels. So you don't have to put it in a box, like back in the box and carry it all the way up the steps and put it in the attic. It's a plastic tub that you put your tree in and it has wheels on it so you can just roll it around. So in the storage space was the box from the Christmas tree. We're up there cleaning out and we never let the cats in there. So we had the door open. They're having a good old time just exploring this room that they've never been in before, or like that they're not allowed in. So they know they're not allowed in there. So they want to be in there. One of those types of things. I was coming out of the storage space and Anthony had set the Christmas tree box at the top of the stairs, but it was over the stairs a little bit just so we had space to walk through to get into the attic space. So Smokey, who I thought was Bandit at the time, but it was Smokey, was standing on the box and he started to walk and I see the box tilt and I was like, oh no. And I yelled Bandit, no, because I thought it was Bandit on the box and I was like, he's about to go down. And I see him riding this like a snowboard down the steps. Oh my God. And he's like at the front. He's going to hit the wall. The box is going to crush him. And I was supposed to get on the phone with you in like 15 minutes. So I was like, oh no, this is going to be so bad. I'm going to have to is the cat going to be okay? I'm going to have to take him to the vet. I'm going to have to cancel with Bryceland.
Isn't it funny how that all happens in slow-mo, like in a split second?
It was
just instantly.
I was like, Bandit, no. And he wrote it down. I see like the box like smash the wall. I see it hit the wall. Bandit, are you all right? Bandit. Can't find him anywhere. I have no idea where it is. I saw a cat like run off to the side and all I see is Smokey and he's just standing there. He's just sitting down, like having a good old time. And Anthony comes out and he's like, what is going on? And I'm like, the cat, and I'm like almost in tears. The cat just rode the box down the stairs and it was really scary. I can't find him anywhere. And he's like, Bandit's upstairs in the storage room. I'm like, Smokey, it was you. And I pet him all over. He was fine. His tail was floofed. Like he was a little spooked, but like he's cool. But I was like, you scared me so much. You almost died.
He was having the greatest time of his life. He was stair surfing.
He looked real spooked when it was happening. I was just like, oh no, this is not, I'm not okay.
So it's not funny. It's funny now, but it's not funny in the moment.
It's funny now, but it wasn't. I was so scared. My cat's hurt. For sure, my cat's hurt. It was an empty box. Like, he probably wouldn't have even gotten hurt if the box was completely empty. But I was still like, the box is so big. The part for me that's
funny is at the exact same time that's happening to you, we're in the nursery and she's crawling, but she wants to stand. So we're playing with walking toys right now. Like, you still have to hold her, still have to keep an eye on her, but we're learning. And she sat down and it was like slow motion. I'm like, she's going to fall back and her head's going to hit the thing there. And like, it's not going to hurt her.
No.
Everything's fine. But I'm like, it's going to scare her and she's going to start screaming. The second it happened, Mike looked at me and I'm like, oh no, she's wailing. I'm like, I have to be on a call in 10 minutes. Do I have to cancel? I don't want to cancel. I know she's fine, but is she fine? Literally the exact same time.
What if he's not okay?
Ugh. See, we should just write a book. Like, same things happen to us at the exact same time.
We should. When I was waiting for you to call me back, I was, scrolling and I saw this thing and it was New York Midnight or New York City Midnight. And it's like a book writing competition, but not a book, a short story writing competition. And you pay an entrance fee and everyone was, oh, the entrance fee is so expensive. And I'm not really, if I were going to do it, I think I would need practice first, but it sounds really fun and something I think we could probably do together, but I couldn't do myself.
Oh, send that to me. We should totally do that.
If I find it again, I'll send it to you, but it's like $36, I think.
That's not bad.
It was like between $30 and $50. And you get like a random prompt, you get a random genre, and you have to write a story. There was like an under 250 words, under 500 words, and then there was another one, but I didn't understand all the genres. But I was like, this seems so cool.
We should totally do that.
This looks really fun. This would be a fun, just like, activity.
It would, but you and I, so we should let you guys know. Brandy and I have talked in the past, and it's gonna happen. I just don't know when. We have a friend group that we all get together for game night. So you'll probably hear us talking about game night quite a bit in this podcast. But there's a group of friends of ours, and we play games. We play board games, we play video games, computer games, anything you can think of. We've all at least dipped our toes in once. But Brandy and I, because we're big readers and we love to sit and read and we love to do books together and all that, we've always talked about the idea of writing stories based off of each person in our friend group as a D&D character. And it would be really fun. I still think it's a fantastic idea. I'm not gonna lie, there are moments throughout my day where I'm like, that would work for this character. I should jot it down.
I've only played D&D once. Okay. And I have no idea what I'm doing. Absolutely no clue. But we're very good friends with the one person I played D&D with. Yes. And then I don't know if you've met the other two that I also played with. They come to game night sometimes, but not all the time, but only when it's at his house.
I think I've met them once or twice, but not enough, and like just in passing, not enough to like know them.
I played with them, but I didn't really like know them at the time. Anthony and our friend are like the only ones that I knew. And I remember there was something happening and there were like these 12 crows. And I was like, hey, can I befriend these crows and let them like fight my enemies for me? And they were like, well, what's your this and what's your this and what's your this? And they were like, okay, roll for it. So I got these 12 crows and they did all of my dirty work for me.
I love that.
The rest of the game. I'm using them as my minions. And I'd just be like, can I have the crows do it? I don't know. You have to roll. And every time I would win and my crows could do all of my work. I did lose a couple of them, but I still had crows at the end.
Not knowing benefits us. Because anytime we play a game, we're always like, can I do this? And then the guys all look at us and they're like, you could. And I'm like, then let's do it. So they get mad because that seems to be how we make it far in the games. Because it's a lot of, can I or should I?
Am I allowed to do this? Because I kind of want to have some crows as pets. Real life. I want to be friends with crows. I guess if you give them gifts, they'll like befriend you. Mm-hmm. So maybe when it's not snowing outside, I can make friends with a crow.
That would be cool.
That's going to be my goal for this year.
My pap, before he passed away, he used to get crows all the time, and he used to leave not seeds and stuff, but like you could get these they're like granola and seeds and all kinds of mixed together, but they're like long stick versions. So they're like already put together. He used to leave those for them, and it looked like a gift. And they would come and they would bring him stuff. Like he would have, one time he had like a pencil, one time he got a little bell, one time like just things that they would find. So they would do that.
That's so
and cool. It was adorable.
If a crow brought me a little bell, I would keep it for the rest of my life. I would save that bell forever. I would be like, this is my prized possession. I would show it to all my kids and grandkids and be like, this is the crow. This is the bell that a crow gave Grandma.
Grandma, why do you have a tattoo of a crow on your arm? Well, kids, let me tell you a story.
Because they're my friends. I would do that. Befriend the crow, get it tattooed on me. It'd be so cute. How could I not? It's my pet. It's like my wild pet at that point.
It's your spirit animal.
Yes.
All right. Well, segueing back, let's talk a little bit about... So we have a couple different things that we like to do. We wanted to do our premiere on Valentine's Day, so we kind of covered that topic. And, you know, kind of segueing from that, we went into dating stories. And what better way to finish out this episode story thing than what do you do after you date? You get married.
Hopefully, if all goes well.
If all goes well, you get married. So we have a couple different like wedding stories and stuff on here for you. But Brandy and I have worked in the wedding industry.
Yes.
And we've done everything from baking and catering to wedding planning and officiating and decorating and all kinds of stuff. And I don't know if we're ready to actually put our business name on here. I think it's still soon for that.
No.
But
I don't think we should ever put our business. I'm not ever putting my business name on
that's
there.
Fair.
If you want to do yours, that's your call, but I'm not going to put mine
That's
on.
fair.
Actually, I think I took all my stuff down. So
did you?
I think even if I did, no one could find it anyway. I definitely took my Facebook down. I don't know if I took my Instagram down or not because it still shows up, but I can't tell if other people see it. But I don't want to delete it.
No, don't delete it.
I have a lot of good pictures on there.
Don't delete it.
But, like, I might want to go back and look at those. Yeah, so I'm not going to do that.
No, don't do that. And like I said, there could become a time in your life where you want to get back into it and you'll already have that.
Yeah. And I think like that might be the case.
Yeah.
It's not. I want to be young and like live my life a little bit and not have to bake cakes every day after work for hours.
I was talking to Mike the other day because I made the post stating that, you know, my company's on hiatus. And he's like, how are you doing with that? I'm like, I'm kind of grieving a little bit just because
You're allowed to.
I didn't get to hit the goals that I wanted to in the time frame that I had, but I'm also getting 2 kids out of it. So it's like, I'm not going to complain.
Yeah.
I'm living this dream that I have right now, and that one's on pause. So it's okay, but I will get back to it eventually.
Exactly.
Us being in the wedding industry and events industry and, all of that, we have some amazing stories for you.
And by stories, we also have some other stories, but those are for a different time.
We have a lot. So this is not our only episode that we're going to be talking about.
Oh no, there will be so many.
There will be plenty. But this is just episode 1 of that. We'll get started, and if you guys like it, let us know, and hopefully you guys will enjoy the craziness that is our history.
And if you have a wedding story that you would like to share with us, we did set up an email. So just so you know, we are pre-recording these in advance just because, 1, we want to make sure we can keep up with it. 2, Bryson's having a baby, so she's going to need some time off, and we still want to be able to launch episodes during that time. So we would love your stories, and if you send us in a story, we will absolutely read it, because it would be really great to be able to share like other people's stories and not just our own. And not just stories that we find on like Reddit or BuzzFeed. So if you do want to send us in a story, you can send us to, let me look up our email actually. It's tellthebabes, Tell, the babes, BABES @gmail.com. So if you want to send us a story, just put your topic in like the subject line. We're so excited to read them, and we will for sure read them on the podcast.
Absolutely.
And we just want to let you know that, like, we do love to gossip here, but we like to gossip and not judge. We are not judgmental people,
right.
But we do love a good gossip. So never feel like you're being judged if you said something in. That's not our goal, is to judge you, but we do want to gossip with you. So for sure, share your stories.
And we 100% will keep your anonymity. Like, if you don't want us to put any specific details out there, we won't.
No.
The one that we're going to be reading here shortly, we actually changed. It's no longer the actual catering company's name. It's just Mobile Catering Company, because we don't want to, we're not here to put people on blast. We're not here to,
here to put people on blast. And I also don't think this, as someone who has gotten married and worked in the industry, I'm not putting this company on blast. I'm putting the person who wrote the post on blast. That's my my thought process putting this on here.
We weren't there. We don't know what their company's like. We don't know if this was just a really bad day. So we don't want to judge if this is their worst day. It could have been our best day. Like, we don't want to judge that.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. So we're just here for the story.
It could have been a great day to everyone except for this one person. And I think that's like, if you have a business in the wedding industry, like, that's something you need to think about, is you can't please 100% of the people 100% of the time.
Right.
So there's always going to be 1 or 2 people who are really pissed off about something that actually doesn't mean anything.
Right.
So always keep that in mind. And I think that goes for like any other business as well. You can't please everyone, and you shouldn't strive to try to please everyone, because it's impossible. You're never going to reach that goal.
Absolutely. All right. Do you want me to go ahead and read?
Yeah, you can read.
Okay. So
I'll comment.
Okay.
I'll comment. You can read.
So this one it's sharing this with my cousin's permission. She's the mother of the groom. This is her experience with a mobile catering company. We were at the wedding, and I will say we noticed some things that weren't handled well, and we understand that things happen, etc. If your business is strictly catering and you're not handling other issues like a coordinator, you should have a better business ethic and management skills. I'd like to say a few words about our catering experience from a mobile catering company. They did our son's wedding last weekend. In my opinion, we did not receive exquisite service. We spent tens of thousands with them, but it was too much to ask for a coffee service with the dessert, even though my daughter was asked months in advance to provide this and add it to the contract. Now, I will say, having worked in the industry, that's an add-on.
Yeah.
It's not something that's expected.
That is an add-on. That's not something that's just included. Like, you have to ask for those things. And there's a good chance this is written from the mother of the groom, and like, there's a good chance she might have asked for it and the bride didn't want it. So the bride was just like, hey, please, I don't want that, and I'm not paying for that. Because if you add, I think someone mentioned also putting coffee on ours, but it was going to be an extra like $4 per person. And when you have 100 people at your wedding, that's an extra $400. Plus, that's extra 18% that you have to pay in gratuity. That's an extra 20% service charge and tax. There's a lot of fees that go added in. So if the bride didn't want to have to pay for coffee, she wasn't going to pay for coffee.
No, and a lot of people don't understand that. I did a lot of DIY for my wedding. Looking back at the stress level, I wish I hadn't. I wish I'd have just paid the money and had other people do it. Me too. But I tried to save where I could. So I knew that with our guests being more of the older generation, they were going to want coffee. So we provided it, but even doing it DIY, it still cost us a pretty penny. And unfortunately, all the older people that were going to want coffee left early anyway. So I'm standing there and I'm like, we didn't even need it.
Yeah.
All right.
However, your s'more bar at your wedding was fantastic.
Oh, my s'mores were amazing. I'm not going to lie.
You just brought that back and it was so good. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. Many guests were asking for hot coffee with dessert. It was a chilly night. The cups she advised me to get were laid out, but no tea or coffee was served. Instead of admitting her error, oh, I'm so sorry. I said earlier the daughter. It's not the daughter. I'm going to say, we'll call her Sarah. But Sarah waved the contract in my face and said she worked for the bride and not for me. Who did she think paid the bill? With a smirk on her face, it was disgusting.
She does. Like, regardless of who paid the bill, she works for the bride and groom. She doesn't... The companies that are hired for weddings, regardless of who pays for them, they work for the bride and groom. The bride and groom is their boss and no one else. And when you're saying, oh, who does she think she works for? She works for the bride. Who does she think pays the bill? I pay the bill. It doesn't matter. She still works for the bride. You can give the bride the money to pay for that, but technically you didn't pay for it. It's still, the bride's still the boss. The bride and groom are still the boss.
And the way that I'm reading this, the way that it's sounding to me is like the mom or the mother of the groom had paid and provided the stuff, but didn't add it into a contract.
It wasn't added into the contract, which I think the bride was probably in charge of contacting them, didn't want it. And if I learned anything from wedding planning, it was you're supposed to do what you want and have a great time and do everything exactly what you want because it's your day, but everyone's going to give you your opinions. And when you say that you don't like their opinion, they get mad. So you just say, yeah, and then do whatever the fuck you want anyway, because that's what I did. So that's probably what happened was the bride didn't want to pay for coffee and tea with dessert, so she never added it to the contract, but then mother of the groom got the cups and was mad that coffee and tea wasn't added. But that's not necessarily like the catering company's fault.
Right. For our wedding, we were planning on doing like the lower tier of the alcohol just because the people that were going to be drinking didn't really care what was on the tier. They just wanted their certain alcohol. So I knew the lower tier, all of us would be fine. We wouldn't care. We'd be happy with it. Mm-hmm. But there was one person specifically who was like, well, I want the higher tier. And I'm like, you want me to pay all this extra for you? Because none of us are drinking that extra alcohol.
Sounds like you can pay all that extra.
She had offered, she's like, I'll pay for the next tier. I'm like, if you pay for it, go for it. I will add it into the contract, but you need to pay up front because I'm not paying it.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason we got the higher tier alcohol. And we still ended up with so much extra alcohol at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. Did you get to keep that alcohol?
I think it was in the contract that it was to be donated back to the country club.
Okay.
But because my wedding, my coordinator was a disaster, they did not check. So when we packed up the alcohol. I already paid for it. It's my alcohol.
Yeah, good for you.
Yep.
Wait, so did your coordinator did she work for that company?
She worked for the venue. Oh, no.
I didn't know that. But you were her first wedding.
So the day of coordinator that I hired her 2 days beforehand because my coordinator freaked me out and was like, I don't know if I'll be there on your wedding day.
Okay, that's fair. I would have hired one too.
I hired her, but I was her first wedding still. And she was very open about it. She's like, look, I've never done a wedding. It's okay. I will do everything for you. I have a binder for you. Like, you can ask as many questions as you want. I just need an extra body. I just need somebody to be my gopher basically and do what I can't physically do because I'm getting pictures. And she was very understanding. She was very understandably priced for being very new. She was like, I get it. Tell me what you need done. So I felt a little bad because she was very overwhelmed. But she still, knowing it was her first wedding, she did a great job.
She did good. She did good for it being her first wedding.
Yep.
You know?
Okay, sorry. Let me get back to this. I am horrible at reading stories. I keep jumping out of it.
No, I think we're supposed to do that. Plus,
okay.
There's so many things I want to say.
I know. Okay. Worse, she left me in the lurch earlier in the day at the last minute, setting the tables for 170 people. No one showed up to do this. Again, a service I asked in advance to be applied to extend the contract. She had like it was never agreed to, even though I had to wait for a callback from her to confirm that she had indeed found 2 people to do that task. She blamed this on the bride, who never said not to set the tables. Okay, now.
I have things to say. Yeah, you go
this
first.
This is definitely the responsibility of catering, especially if it was added on. And it sounds like this part was, because she waited for a callback. And if the company is calling the mother of the groom and confirming something, then it definitely must have been paid for. Because I have had a mother of the groom whenever I did weddings who she had called and was trying to add on all kinds of things for me to do. And the first thing I said was, well, let me write that down. I'll call you back to confirm anything as long as I get that taken care of. I immediately called the bride and was like, listen, she's adding all of this on. And if that's, her prerogative and you're okay with it, that's fine. Here's what the total is going to be. But I'm not doing anything to alter this contract until I get an okay from
without
you.
your say so.
Right.
Yeah.
So whether the bride put this in the contract and said okay, or gave the mother of the groom permission to, it sounded like in this instance it was, hey, if you can pay for the extension, then go ahead and get confirmation to do it. What do you think? Do you agree or no?
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't actually know. She acted like she never agreed to it. I don't know. I would ask to read the contract at that point. Like, right. All of this stuff has to be written. When you get a contract, everything's written down. And when you make amendments to the contract, you normally have until like up to a week before the wedding to change it. So I would read it in the contract. And if they didn't do that, I would push that back in their face. You said that you would set up, tables for 170 people.
I would agree that it sounded like she did not agree to it, except for the fact that the mother of the groom said she called me back and confirmed she indeed had 2 people to do this task. So did she agree to it and not remember?
I think, she probably agreed to it and didn't write it down.
Yeah.
I bet, which in that case, that was their fault.
Yeah. All right, next part. Because of this, I had to miss my hair and makeup to rally and find help to do it. The groomsmen gave up their activity, which then took a couple hours and caused a lot of stress on what should have been a joyful day. She never put it in the contract, so that is why it was not there. Her fault. Why was it an issue in the first place? Well, be warned, the quote-unquote full-service caterer provides only paper plates. They provide no service for dishes or setting up. If you are doing a wedding, you are on your own. If you don't catch that, you'll be eating with your hands. Ooh.
I wish we plan on doing video eventually, but now is not the time for that. But I wish you guys could see my face because I want to go back on stress on what should have just been a joyful day. Can we normalize the fact that weddings are stressful and they're not always happy? Because was my wedding amazing and the best day of my life and so much fun and I wish I could live it over again? Yes. Was it also the most stressful day of my life? Yes. I ended up with a skin rash for weeks after due to stress, and it started a month before with a spot on my arm that I went to the doctor and they were like, oh, we don't know what this is. And then as soon as your body's out of survival mode, my body calmed down and all my stress went away 2 days after my wedding. I had hives all over my entire body due to then lack of stress. So can we normalize the fact that weddings are stressful? It's stressful for everyone. Let's just stop pretending like they're a big party where everyone gets to go have fun. It's not. It's really stressful, especially to 10 people, the bride and the groom and the wedding party and the parents and siblings. It's really stressful to those people. And everyone else gets to have fun and it's joyful for them. But it's not always just a cup of tea.
The only person who this truly is a joyful day for is Great Aunt Ida, who's just going to sit near the cookie table and listen to the YMCA. That's the only person who is on a less stress, joyful only day.
And Uncle Joe, who's getting drunk on the dance floor.
Yes. Yep. The fact that she had to miss her hair and makeup sucks. I hate that because you have to pay for that in advance. So that's horrible.
I only made appointments for the wedding party, so I didn't know that you had to pay for that in advance, but that sucks.
I paid in advance, but I had them Venmo me. The only people that I paid for were myself and my mom and my mother-in-law.
Okay.
I did as their gift.
Yeah.
So those are the only 3 that I paid for. And I had asked the girls, do you want makeup? Do you only want hair? Is there anything specific you want? And they each kind of changed what they wanted. but I ended up getting a discount on makeup. I got 2 makeups for free included. So my mom and my mother-in-law got their makeup done for free.
That's awesome.
So it sucks that she had to miss her hair and makeup. And yeah, I mean, it sucks that the guys had to miss their quote unquote activity, but let's face it.
They're just
guys on the wedding day. They're just getting drunk and chilling.
Yeah, they're not
they're
doing
not
anything.
They're not running around. Okay. Normal weddings, they're not. My wedding, I love my husband. I love all of our friends because they really rallied and did everything. The same thing you said, everything that could go wrong on my wedding day went wrong, but I wouldn't change it for the world. It was still one of the happiest days of my life. And by the time the ceremony was over, you could tell both of us were just like, we just want to drink and just be done. We're done. We're hungry. We want to get a drink. We just want to chill. So we really didn't.
It was very helpful that before, because we got all of our photos and stuff done beforehand, and like the whole wedding party and us were just chilling in a get ready room while people were showing up.
Mm-hmm.
The pastor that officiated our wedding came up and was just like, hey, if this lessens your stress any, like I already signed all your papers and they're in the mail. And I was like, that helps my stress so much. Thank you so much. We're married. We didn't have the ceremony and we're married. And like, that's what I needed to know. And then the rest of the day I was fine. I was like, this is great. This makes me feel so much better.
Aw. But so the fact that it's paper plates, I feel like that's something that should be written in the contract. I understand that you have to pay for an upgrade.
That's the thing.
But they should know that it's not like the hard plastic. It's like paper plates.
Here's another thing is like, did the bride and groom want to pay for real plates? Because that's another $4 to $6 per person. Real silverware is another $4 to $6 per person. So if you want real plates, real silverware, that's another $10 per person. For 100 people, that's another $1,000, you know? These things add up, and then you have gratuity, service charge, and tax on top of that. So it's going to be way more than that. Also, this is a mobile catering company.
Right. This is not a dine-in.
No. If you go to a country club or a hotel or a food service establishment that is specializing in large parties and weddings and stuff like that, they have real plates for you to use and stuff like that. Real plates, real silverware. And they probably said, if you want real dishes, you're going to have to rent them from a rental company because we are a mobile catering company. They don't have the storage space for that. They don't have a room to put those in. They don't have a way to transport real plates for a wedding of 170 people. So they were probably told in advance that it was going to be on paper plates. And that's probably something that the bride chose to use, which is like I don't remember if we had paper plates or I think we had plastic plates for our wedding. I was not about to pay another however much per person, and I could have added that on with the caterer we used. I could have added on real plates, real silverware. I could have added on compostable plates and compostable silverware, which I would have loved to be able to do, but the compostable plates and silverware were an extra $4.25 per person.
Exactly.
And I wasn't going to spend another $500. I would love to save the world, however, I can't afford it.
We did like the hard plastic, but still, I mean, it was disposable. Like we didn't do anything that needed cleaned. I love the part where she says, if you were doing a wedding, you're on your own. If you don't catch that, you'll be eating out of your hands. I mean, I know that that's like attitude, but I think that's funny.
It's just, there's so much sass written with this, but I can't help it. The amount of weddings that we've worked, and it's always been like a mother. And I'm just again, it has to, like, I can't help but read it as the mother who's yelled at us.
Let's remember, this is the cousin telling the story. This is the cousin of the mother of the groom. She got permission. So
no, the mother of the groom wrote this story, and just the first paragraph is the cousin saying that she shared it to this page.
Gotcha.
So the mother wrote this story. Yeah.
But that's even funnier. Okay, so it says, mostly it was the snarky, crappy attitude, skating on her 5-star reviews, which are, in my opinion, likely engineered. I noticed after my poor review, coincidentally, the next 10 people, she put in parentheses, her staff with a question mark, wrote glowing 5-star reviews. The buffet plates were icy cold, turning the hot food into congealed mess. Many of our guests commented on that, not exquisite from our experience. She took the time to rebut my review on Yelp. In my opinion, not very professional, right? It turns out the Knot allows vendors to remove bad reviews. How timely that just today the Bureau of Consumer Protections has filed a suit against the Knot. I did not know that the Knot allowed that. So they had buffet plates. So was she upset about like there being not extra plates?
I'm confused because didn't she say the caterer only provides paper plates? They provide no service for dishes or setting up. Well, they're a mobile, like they have a food truck. It's mobile. They have a food truck. They're doing a wedding for 170 people. But I thought she said paper plates, but now she's saying the plates were icy cold, which makes me think that they must have rented plates somewhere. But this is another thing. I've worked in catering before. When you work in an establishment that's used to large parties and catering on site, they have plates, hot food served on hot plates, cold food served on cold plates. They have a walk-in where they can put the plates to keep them cold. They have plate warmers. They make plate warmers that you can plug into the wall, and it heats them to an unbearably godly hot temperature that you then have to touch and like bring up massive amounts of plate, and it hurts. But when you're getting like a mobile food establishment, they don't have that access. And if you're getting a mobile food establishment, that means that the location on site also doesn't have access to that stuff. So yeah, the plates are going to be cold because there's no way to heat them. They can't put them in the oven because your food has to be hot. They have to put the food in the oven.
True.
So it's one of those things where if this is something that like, I don't know, it's frustrating because I'm almost on the catering company's side with this one because they can't help that. They can't help that the plates are cold because what they're offering is paper plates and you decided not to go with that. Like they can't do anything about
I feel like
that.
I feel like this is just a lot of miscommunication. Whether the bride is aware or not, I'm not sure, but it sounds like the mother of the groom put herself in a position she did not need to be in.
Yeah.
And I feel like catering the owner of the catering company, maybe she just was dealing with, a momzilla as best as she could. I don't hold it against her rebutting a review. Like, even though this person obviously thinks it wasn't professional, I find that the opposite. I feel like if somebody's going...
I think I need to know the definition of rebut. What does that mean? Does that mean she like
it was a rebuttal?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like the mother of the groom posted this and she went on and commented and was like, actually. So I don't think that that's unprofessional. I feel like if somebody were to put...
I also don't think that's unprofessional.
No, it doesn't matter if it's good or bad. I feel like if they were to go on and comment about, their experience with me as a professional, I should be able to go on and say, oh, thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Or actually, that's not how this happened. And I don't feel like it's fair for them to only get one side of the story.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to hear this company's, rebuttal to see what their side of the story was.
Maybe I'll see if I can try to find it later and we can do an update on a different episode.
Okay.
But I don't know. I think it's very common. Like if you leave a review on a website that the owner of the restaurant or the establishment or literally wherever you're going, if you're going to a spa and you leave a comment, the owner or like the manager of the company's going to go on and read your reviews and they're going to comment on them regardless if it's good or bad. If it's good, they're going to be like, thank you so much. We hope to see you again. Please come visit us again. And if it's bad, they're also going to say something about it. Be like, oh, I'm so sorry, but this is what I was under the impression that was happening. And I'm sorry we had a miscommunication. That's completely normal. That's not unprofessional.
And I feel like as the client or the customer, you should want that. Like that's the goal of putting a comment out there. So that way you can say, hey, I did not like that you guys did this. You should fix that moving forward. And you should want them to acknowledge it and say, oh, we apologize for that. We will look into it. Or, hey, you guys did an excellent job doing this. Thank you so much. Oh, we're so happy you enjoyed it. Thank you for letting us know. Like your goal putting a comment out there should not be to be able to just bitch and blast a company, whether you agreed with how they handled the service or not. It should be, hey, this did not work for us. Here's why. You should look into it.
And that works for anything. Like even if you're on YouTube and you're leaving like comment on a YouTube video, you're allowed to give criticism, but let it be constructive criticism. Don't just put people on blast for the fun of it or to make them feel bad because they made you upset about something. Be a decent human being. If someone did something wrong and you want to say, hey, like maybe that wasn't the way you should have done that. Maybe say it this way next time or do it this way next time. That's constructive criticism. Yeah. That's helping people grow. But when you just put them on blast, that's not how life works. And that's not how it should work. So if someone did that to me, I would also probably get a little defensive.
And I'm not saying you have to sugarcoat it. She didn't sugarcoat it. She
didn't sugarcoat anything.
I feel like there's a difference between, telling the truth and not sugarcoating something and then just, being bitchy and having a crappy attitude. There's a difference because let's face it, at the end of the day,
there's a big difference.
Your daughter and your son and your daughter-in-law got married and they're very happy and I wish them the best. And I hope they have a long, happy life together.
No matter what happened at that wedding, it was still an amazing day for them. And it's still a great memory. And it should be a great memory for them too, you know?
Exactly.
Don't ruin the whole day because of the catering, because of the food. That's, hey, I spilled barbecue sauce on my wedding dress before I even took a bite of my food, and I didn't let it ruin my day. Did you not know that?
I did not know that, and I wish you had said something because I
God.
literally brought a Tide pen for you.
Can I tell you what happened? I will get the advice to use these names on here, but I'm going to say them anyway, and if they tell me no, did I say I'm going to ask for advice? I'm going to ask for permission to use their names on here, and if they tell me no, I'll bleep them out. But we had just sat down for our food, and I shook the barbecue sauce because we got barbecue for our catering. I shook the sauce bottle and I turned it upside down to put it on my plate, and it was like runny, and I didn't know that it was going to be runny. I thought it was going to be thick, and I had a spot this big on my wedding dress, and it soaked through all of the layers. I looked up, I immediately made eye contact with Harper, and she gave me this look, and I was like, come here. She's like, I gotta go. And she's like, what's wrong? And I showed her the spot, and she's like, oh my God, I'll be right back. And she went to the bar and she got club soda. She went upstairs, she had a Tide pen, and she came back down and she's, we're gonna get this all taken care of. And you couldn't even tell. It soaked through like 7 layers of my dress, and she got all of it out.
I had no clue.
She had her hand like the whole way up my dress because I spilled it on my leg. So it was like a little uncomfortable. She's like, I'm sorry, we're about to get real close and personal. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure you saw me naked just getting in this dress. So you're good.
Yeah, I had no clue. Ugh.
But yeah, it was, I will say, everything from my wedding went fantastic. But I wish I would have stressed less beforehand so I didn't, have a immune disorder afterwards. But the little things that happened that did go wrong were so hilarious. Looking back, spilling the barbecue sauce on my dress, Anthony dropping my ring, they're so funny. They're hilarious. There's a picture. Did you look at our pictures
Yes.
yet? Did you see the one of him when he was like picking the ring up off the ground?
Yes,
it's
I
so
saw
funny.
that one. I like the one you had sent me a photo, or you posted it, and you were like, the comparison between the first look with my dad and the first look with him are just hilarious.
Yes, because they're the same picture.
They are the same picture. It's adorable. Let's go ahead and do our closing, and then because I got a baby screaming for me. You'll probably hear that a lot with these recordings.
I can edit that out, so that's fine. Or maybe I'll just leave it in for fun. We'll see what happens.
All right, guys, that's our episode of the day. So stay hot, stay hydrated, and mind your business.
This is where we bitch, but we never judge. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye, babes.
Thank you for tuning in to the Bitching Babes. This is your friendly reminder to blow out your candle and hydrate responsibly. We'll see you next time.